Hey everyone, welcome back to Senior Support USA. I hope you're having a good day. Today we're going to talk about something that a large number of seniors are currently experiencing. And the reason it's causing so much stress is simply because it's not being explained properly anywhere. So let's fix that today with clear, honest information. Here's how this situation typically unfolds. You wake up on the morning, your Social Security deposit is due. You open your banking app, you check your account, and something doesn't feel right. Maybe the deposit is there, but it showed up later than it normally does. Maybe the amount is slightly different from what you received last month, or maybe you're still waiting and there's nothing there at all yet. And that waiting creates a kind of worry that's hard to shake. You start wondering, did my benefit get reduced? Did I miss a notice? Is there a problem with my bank? Is something wrong with my account? That worry is completely understandable. For tens of millions of Americans, Social Security is not a supplement to other income. It is the income. It pays the rent or the mortgage, it buys the groceries, it covers the electric bill, the phone bill, and the prescriptions. When something about that payment looks different, it doesn't feel like a small administrative detail. It feels personal and it feels urgent. So you deserve a clear explanation, not vague reassurances. What we're going to cover today is exactly what is happening right now, why it's happening, and what practical steps you can take. We're going to separate fact from confusion so that the next time something looks different about your deposit, you'll know exactly what to look at and what to do. The first thing you need to understand is that what looks like one single problem is almost always two separate issues that happen to occur around the same time. One involves your bank and how it processes your deposit. The other involves your actual benefit amount from Social Security. These two things are completely independent of each other, but when they happen together, they create a situation that looks like one big problem. Let's break down each one clearly. Your Social Security payment does not travel directly from the government into your bank account in a single instant. It moves through a specific sequence of steps. The Social Security Administration determines and authorizes your monthly benefit amount. The United States Treasury then sends out the actual payment. That payment travels through the Federal Reserve System, which serves as the financial infrastructure connecting the federal government to banks all across the country. Your bank then receives the funds, and at that point, your bank makes its own internal decision about when to post that deposit to your account and make it accessible to you. Most people assume that once the government sends the money, it appears immediately. But that last step, what your bank does after receiving the funds, is entirely within the bank's control. And that is exactly where things have been changing. For a long time, many banks across the country made it a standard practice to release Social Security deposits 1 or 2 days ahead of the official government payment date. So, if the Social Security Administration scheduled your payment for Wednesday, your bank might have credited your account on Monday or even Sunday night. Millions of people built their entire monthly financial routine around that early access. Bill payments, automatic withdrawals, grocery shopping, prescription refills, everything was timed around those early deposits. It felt predictable and reliable, but that reliability is shifting. Many banks have been quietly scaling back or completely eliminating the early deposit practice. This isn't something that gets announced with a press release or a letter in the mail. It happens as an internal policy change, and the first time most customers find out is when their deposit simply doesn't show up when they expected it. On top of that, some banks are now adding extra layers of verification before federal benefit payments are released. Others have changed when during the day they post deposits, moving from late night posting to morning or afternoon, which can add several additional hours to the wait. There is also a growing number of people seeing their Social Security deposit appear as pending in their account. This means the bank has technically received the funds but has not yet fully processed and released them. Before, many banks cleared these deposits instantly with no pending phase at all. Now, a pending hold of several hours is becoming more common. If you depend on that money for a payment due that same day, even a short pending period can create real problems. The critical point here is this. In the majority of these situations, your Social Security benefit itself has not changed. The government sent the full amount on the correct date. What changed is your bank's internal handling of that payment. That distinction matters a great deal because the solution to a bank processing change is very different from the solution to an actual benefit reduction. And this is also why two people living in the same city receiving Social Security on the same schedule can have completely different experiences because their banks are operating on different internal timelines. Now, let's talk about situations where your benefit amount genuinely does change because those situations are real and they happen regularly. The most common reason is Medicare Part B. If you are enrolled in Medicare, your monthly Part B premium is automatically deducted from your Social Security payment before it ever reaches your bank. When Medicare announces a premium increase, which has happened frequently in recent years, that increase shows up immediately as a reduction in your net deposit. Your gross benefit from Social Security stays the same, but the amount that actually hits your account is lower. Many people receive a notice about this, but those notices are easy to overlook or misunderstand, and the result is a lower deposit that feels unexplained. Another common cause of a reduced payment is overpayment recovery. If the Social Security Administration determines at any point that you were paid more than you should have been, whether due to an income reporting issue, an eligibility change, or an administrative error, they are legally permitted to recover that overpayment by deducting a set amount from your future monthly payments. This can reduce your check significantly for an extended period of time, and if you were not clearly informed, it can feel like your benefit was taken away without reason. For individuals receiving supplemental security income, the calculation is particularly sensitive. SSI payments are based on financial need, and even a modest change in income or living situation can result in a recalculated benefit. If any income was reported or discovered that affects your eligibility level, your monthly SSI amount may have been adjusted accordingly. Additionally, if you have outstanding federal debts, such as unpaid federal student loans or certain other government obligations, a portion of your Social Security payment can be withheld through what is called a federal offset. Now consider this scenario. Your bank removes its early deposit policy in the same month that your Medicare Part B premium increases. Your deposit arrives 2 days later than you expected, and it's also a smaller amount. From your perspective, it looks like one serious problem, but in reality, it's two completely separate, explainable changes happening simultaneously. Understanding that separation is what allows you to respond to each one correctly instead of feeling overwhelmed by what seems like a single, unexplained loss. The practical way to tell the difference is straightforward. If your payment amount matches what you received last month but arrived at a different time, that is a bank processing change. Your benefit is intact. If your payment amount is consistently lower across 2 or more months, that is an actual adjustment to your benefit that needs to be looked into. Here is what you should do to stay on top of this. First, know your gross benefit amount, the full amount before any deductions. You can find this through your My Social Security account online or on any official notice you've received. Compare that number to what your bank actually deposits. The gap between those two numbers tells you everything about what's being deducted and why. Second, go back through any recent mail from the Social Security Administration. Even notices that seemed routine at the time might contain an explanation for a change in your payment. Third, call your bank and ask them directly. When do you post federal benefit deposits, and have you made any recent changes to early deposit availability? That one question often resolves the timing confusion immediately. If your deposit doesn't arrive when you expect it, wait one full business day before escalating. Deposits are arriving later than they used to for many people, and giving it that extra time often resolves the concern on its own. If after one full business day the deposit still hasn't appeared, contact your bank first. Bank representatives can usually see the incoming payment in their system even before it's been released to your account. Only after checking with your bank should you contact the Social Security Administration directly. The bottom line from Senior Support USA is this: your bank is not reducing your benefits. But banks are changing how and when they release your money, and those changes are happening across the country right now. At the same time, there are real and legitimate reasons your benefit amount can be adjusted, and knowing those reasons keeps you informed and in control. When something looks different, check the amount first, then check the timing. Those two steps will give you the answers you need. If you've seen any changes in your Social Security deposit recently, whether it's the timing, the amount, or a pending status you haven't seen before, drop your state and your experience in the comments. It helps everyone in the Senior Support USA community stay aware. If this was helpful, please like this video, subscribe to Senior Support USA, and turn on notifications so you don't miss updates that could affect your financial life. Thank you for watching. Stay informed, stay prepared, and I'll see you in the next one.